I don't care what business you're running, the customer experience is what is going to set you apart from other competitors in your field. You don't need to be the lowest price. You need to be the company that just blows your client's mind, because and be able to repeat it. You gotta watch too, because if you are gonna absolutely go way above and beyond what you would normally do, and then try and then the next experience for that same customer is more mundane, now they're going, oh, they were so much better the first time. Have you been to a restaurant where you went in and you had the best meal of your life? Fantastic. And you're telling the world about it. You're gonna bring your friends. Hey, we gotta go check out this restaurant. It was so good. What happens sometimes when you go there again?
Yeah, sometimes it's happened to me where we've gone to a restaurant where the first experience was wonderful. They gave us complimentary appetizers, and now we've built up this expectation that the next time I go with my group of friends, that this is gonna happen. Meanwhile, the restaurant, maybe it's a different situation. Suddenly the experience is different. No longer that complimentary appetizer, no longer, something special, that bottle of wine that they brought out the first time you came, because, that was the experience you had before, and so you're expecting the same, and now you're going and you're leaving with less than favorable experience. It may still be a good experience, but unfortunately, it's the comparative between the awesome experience that was out of the norm for that restaurant. Maybe there was a slow night and they just want to make you extra happy, but then now they were busy and now they can't provide that, that what we call the extraordinary customer experience. You have to be able to provide a consistent, great customer experience.
And then you're telling your friends, I don't know what happened. It was so good last time, right? But everything came out, the order was wrong, the food was cold, the server was miserable. It happens, right? And again, every business out there, nobody wants to give their clients that experience, but it happens. And being able to have a system in place that your staff and your people can follow, what that really does is it gives them the ability to just do what they need to do and not have to make split decisions on should I zig or should I zag, because they don't know. And that's that leads me to another system that you want to have in place for your staff is consistent ways of doing tasks that you do regularly. When my guys go out to do an electrical panel change or a panel upgrade, they follow the same system. They do it a certain way, and it's a way that can be taught to new staff. So we're not relying on what we always call the tribal knowledge. Well, this guy always did it this way, and so we always sent him out to do that job because he was so good at it. What if he leaves? What if we have to let him go? What if he wins the lottery? Now we're stuck. How did this guy do it? We don't know. Okay, we'll send out the next guy, and he's an electrician. He should know how to do it. And the job goes sideways. We fail an inspection. Upset customer. We didn't have a method. We just relied on that one employee who knew how to do it. That's really dangerous as a business owner, to rely on the individual to knock it out of the park every time, because it's going to happen where that person will not be there to do what he always does. Nobody really knows what he did. We didn't document anything that he did, but oh my God, we have 10 jobs lined up that are exactly the same. How are we going to do it? How are we going to make sure that the process is the same and there is a system of quality assurance, a checklist following up on the job? That's things that you need to put in place. And I hear it so much. I don't have time to do that. We're so busy. We just got to get all these customers looked after. But business owners have these same just beat their head against the wall problems because they didn't take an hour to write a process out, and they didn't take the time to have a meeting with their staff and say, this is the way we are going to do it. It may be different from the way you've done it in the past, but we know that it works for us. It's repeatable. It can be modified, but it takes the creative flair out of the way people can perform tasks in your business. Because if you get a call from the customer and say, well, hey, I don't know what these guys did, but it isn't what I wanted, and you don't know because there was no way to basically look at how it was done and how you wanted it done. Well, in my mind, who's really failed there? Is it your technician? I don't think so. I think you got to look in the mirror and say, hey, it was me. I didn't give this guy a fighting chance to do it the way I wanted because he's not a mind reader. You don't carry your crystal ball in the service van to know what the owner's vision is and what the customer wanted. So having that process and checklist laid out, it gives your staff peace of mind that we're doing what we were supposed to do here, and at least if something goes sideways or we can't do it, we've got something to compare it to the way we've done it in the past, and maybe a change needs to be made. But it's not fair for you to rely on your staff to do everything based off memory, and then when things go sideways, you give them hell because they didn't do it the way you wanted. That's irresponsible, and that's when people leave because they're like, this is ridiculous. I don't know what the expectation is.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's creating that consistency. I mean, going back to the whole McDonald's analogy, like, can you imagine if every McDonald's, they cooked the burgers differently, they cooked the fries differently, and then you're going with his expectations, suddenly something is different. Like they put less sauce here, or the cheese is the different type of cheese, and so it changes the taste of the burger. Like, as a customer, now you're creating confusion for them, for the staff. Now it's like, well, what did Jim do last shift?
Exactly.
What happened there, right? It's a consistency, quicker turning around and quicker training time, because now you have this consistent proven process that you bring in somebody in, it's quicker to onboard them, say, here's the system, here's the process, and based on your experience, just follow that.
Ted, I think the best thing any business can do right from the get-go is to start writing the instruction manual on how to run your business. And that can sound pretty daunting because you're like, well, I don't know, I just do it. Well, if you want to build equity in your business, in my mind, my business is going to be a lot easier to sell or give it some value if I can hand you the binder on how Halo Power operates.
Right. For sure, having that, the business operational manual, critical in any business. And franchises have been doing that for years. That's basically what they do. They take a proven business model, put it into a manual, and then franchise it out. And they say, just follow the operational manual.
Yep.
Don't be too creative because we've proven everything else out. We know this works, and just follow this and you'll have a successful business.
And it makes sense. And you're right, it's tried and true and it works. Because like we've said before, your business is really not that different than other businesses, even though you may deliver a different service or sell a different product, but the fundamentals on how that business will operate really isn't much different from your competitor or the guy next door who's got a donair shop and we've got an electrical company. And I didn't learn this overnight. I've read books. I've got a fantastic coach in my corner that has always been there to, push these processes, push me to make the business so that it can operate on its own, so that I don't have to be involved in every step of the way, so that I can take a weekend off or go to my kids' track and field day and the business is still running and the money is still flowing in. And now you actually got a business. You're not just self-employed. Because when you're self-employed, what do? You own a job. Own a bunch of headaches.
Well, the job owns you.
The job owns you. Isn't that the truth?
That's what happens if you don't build a solid, money-making machine. You're just working for somebody else, regardless if it's the boss or your own business. You are trapped in your business. So you want to build this money-making machine through proven processes, and whether you build it out yourself, work with coaches, talk to like-minded business individuals, learn from each other. But you gotta start there. You gotta start building these processes in and start small. You know, you don't need to create a 6-inch binder at the beginning.
No.
You just start documenting it, and then it'll grow in time. It will grow in time. I'm sure.
Well, and it takes time. It's, you know, when you're a business owner, you got to be willing to do the things that need to be done when you don't feel like doing it.